Greetings and welcome to another episode of SeptumSin versus the World. I'm SeptumSin, and today we're going to talk about some spooky information. It is that time of year again. And of course, when we're looking at this time of year, we want to be scared, or we want to watch stuff that'll get us in the Halloween mood. Either something nice and Halloweeny or something nice and scary. So, what to watch? So many things. There are a few areas that I really want to just cover on this. Because you've got your standards. You've got your Halloween movies. Scream. Pumpkinhead. Freddy Krueger. And of course you got your animes. I've recommended Kokorumbo like forever. And I thought, why not recommend 10 items that are a little off the beaten path. Maybe some stuff you may not have heard about. If you've watched my channel, you'll have heard about some of these. But I thought this would be kind of fun to just go ahead and give some off-the-beaten-path recommendations. So let's begin. The first of which is a series called The Great Horror Family. Now this is not an anime. The drawings on here are just a representative. It is about this family that moves into this house, and the house has a bunch of ghosties and ghoulies in it. And it is quite fun. It's a horror comedy. I kind of like that the girl that's the ghost, the one that has like the long hair, the vengeful ghost, actually has a crush on the main character. It is, like I say, it is really fun. If you haven't watched The Horror Family, I mean, it's by the same guy who created Ju-on, which is kind of funny in and of itself, that you've got the grudge ghost essentially and they're crushing on the main character. But it is just in general a fun series. Very much recommended. So we've had an anime anticlimax on this, and there's a lot of mixed feelings on it. But the Gregory Horror Show, I really like hitting these when I can during the Halloween season. There's also a PS2 game. I emulate that because I can't find it. For those of you who are in the UK, they did do a European release of the video game. If you got a PS2, you can run it. I don't have a PS2, nor do I have a European PS2, and nor do I have the actual game. But I do have the series. And the computer animation is actually very rough, but it's purposefully so. It's about this guy who finds his way to this very odd hotel. And this hotel, they harvest souls. And there's a lot of eccentric people who are in this hotel. And in general, it gets really creepy. The last season... Wait, that's the first one. The last set of this is on this haunted train, where Gregory actually becomes more of a main character on the train. It is a really good series. If you can only find the first 2 volumes, because the third sometimes gets really rare, you'll get the main story. This is just kind of a side story, but to me it's good. I like it. It's got creepy atmosphere. It is fun. It has a bit of humor to it. It's well worth checking out. Now, speaking of humor, Psycho Ape! I love micro-budget films, and we're going to sneak a few in here. Only 3 of my 10. Psycho Ape is about this relationship between a woman and a psycho ape who goes on a murder spree. It's not serious in the slightest, as you would think. It's not like high budget by any means. But heaven help me, this is a hilarious film. I've got the sequel. I need to watch the sequel. I just haven't had the time. But if you like a good horror comedy that's very wacky and wild, like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes style humor, you should check out Psycho Ape. It is a blast. Now here's one that is a little bit higher on the budget end, but is a classic, and that is Invaders from Mars. Now, Shout did a re-release of this, which I am glad for because it needed an update or cleaning up. But this is about this little kid, and he sees this big spaceship land, and suddenly people start acting strange. His parents, teachers, and all that. And it's all about aliens and mind control. I really liked this. It scared me as a kid, but I really love it as an adult. It's not as scary as an adult, but this is one of those that I feel like kids and adults can watch, and it really does have a creepy, body snatchers vibe to it. If you have a chance and you haven't seen Invaders from Mars, definitely check it out. It's one I don't see on the beaten path a lot for these lists, so I said, you know what, let's put it on. Gags the Clown. Gags the Clown really started a lot of these horrific clown things where these clowns would just show up on the streets and stuff like that. And essentially you've got this evil clown that ends up killing people, and this reporter that's trying to dig into this whole phenomenon of these killer clowns, or these ones that show up on the side of the road. This also has the original short film. We covered it on Inside Movies Galore, so you should check it out. It is a very good film, very well done. It does have a lower budget, but it doesn't feel like a low budget film. This one truly is a great horror film. If you like killer clowns, you should watch Gags the Clown. House of Rathidicus. I had to fit Kyle in here somewhere. So, this is not his favorite by any means, but this is a short film that he and Doug did. And it's about this guy who likes to make horror masks, his friend Doug, and about one of the masks that just becomes possessed and ends up possessing the wearer of the mask. This is also a very cool cover. I really like that. And I will say this actually is just, in general, a fun short film. Very creepy in a lot of ways. Amazing special effects for a micro-budget feature. If you can find this, it's very out of print, but if you can find it, it's very much worth your time. Well, we just done a micro-budget romp right here. Jacker. This is the original Phil Herman movie. You can get this from him directly, which would probably pay him the most, but you can get it from other areas as well. Jacker is, well, it's essentially about a murderer who, robs you, takes your car. This is a 2-movie series. He did not direct the second film. The third film is being made as we speak. If you want a very kind of raunchy, very splatter film, not splatter film, a very I think raunchy is the best word. If you want a good raunchy film to just hit the road with, Jacker is one that you could definitely enjoy. Now keep in mind, this is actually done from the sleeves box at the time. So this release is actually pretty good, but you might not. Some of these releases are a little bit lower quality, some are higher quality. You gotta look for which ones you want, and then sometimes these movies having it grainy is probably better because it adds to the. I can't think of the word. I cannot think of the word for it. Grindhouse feel, I guess. That's the best word I can think of. I had to sneak at least, well, another anime. And this one is Another. Another is sadly out of print. It needs to be back in print. Sentai, get it back up and running again. You re-release so many things that you have that are in print already. Why not re-release this? And Angel Beats while you're at it. Angel Beats as well. Because these are high on the secondary market. But if you like Final Destination, this is the anime version of Final Destination. This guy notices this girl in school is being shunned and ends up approaching her, and it turns out that this may not have been a good idea because this curse starts where all these students are meeting terrible ends. The most famous of which involves an umbrella. You can see for yourself. This probably is available still on High Dive to stream. If you can get it, I would, because it is well worth your time. I really enjoyed it. Like I say, I like Final Destination. This really worked for me. 2 more. So, Death Toilet, Invasion of the Potty Snatchers. The Death Toilet series is about a possessed evil toilet. But it gets wilder, and it gets more crazy as you go. This is the latest of them, and it involves Potty Mouth and Stink Eye, which you can see them posing right there. And of course, you've got our 2 heroes. You've got Father Dingleberry, and you've got, I can't think of his name. Brett Baxter. And there is a... this is just after the Pope's plane gets blown up. One of them ends up in jail, and the other one ends up having to try and hunt as Potty Mouth ends up trying to take over the world. The last 2 films in this series, 4 and 5, really ramp it up. To me, they are the best in the series. The series just keeps getting better as it goes. It felt like more of a one-off joke when the first film started, but as they kept building it, it just got wilder and wilder. Now it feels like 60s Batman. So if you like that sort of thing, you should check it out. Actually, and these have a good one. The first Death Toilet trilogy has a Blu-ray release that's pretty solid. The 4th film has a release, I think, that's similar to this one. So if you have a chance, check it out. It is well worth your time. Last one. You never think of documentaries as being scary, but there are a few that are unnerving. My favorite go-tos is usually A Haunting in Connecticut / A Haunting in Georgia. Those 2 documentaries are very creepy. But here's one that I have that is also out of print, but is a very good one. If you find it, definitely get it, and it's called The Nightmare. Now, The Nightmare is about sleep paralysis, and I don't know if anybody has experienced that before. I have. It is a very terrifying thing, and when it goes into what people see, how people are just unable to act, it really is wild. If you get a chance, you should check out The Nightmare. It is well worth your time, especially during the spooky season, because this thing is creepy. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and share. But of course, we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
This is the end of the show. We hope you liked it though. We had our spend, had time afraid. It's almost time to go. This is the end of the show. But we felt you'd like to know. A bunch of friends right to the end. Our link just down below. This is the end of the show. So help us let you know. 'Cause here's Jake to say the things we thought just couldn't go.
And now we would like to take a moment to thank our friends at the Rebel Gaming Club for our rollicking opening number that has been gracing our videos for some time now. And we want to thank all our friends who come out for various projects and what have you. We have numerous links below, and we very much encourage you to check them out and give the other people a visit as well.
Hello, my friends! Hey! Yeah! Eddie, you're in too! Pour yourself a